I got money, I wasn't in the track kicking doors, and I'm just being honest. If you want smoke, then we could off the arm, I'm just being honest. I'm really if I go to magical honest, I'm just being honest. I keep a stick or a blicky in case it gets sticky, I'm just being honest. You know that I'm with it, I'm having this chick and this trick, and I'm just being honest. Who really is to be honest? Hey, watch me give them be honest. Real like a pen, I got rats in the bag, and they look like honest. I up on my rank, cause
All right, what's up YouTube? So today we are looking at one of the strangest but smartest pistols on the market, the Stealth Arms Platypus. You know, I was super excited for this because it is a 2011 style gun that runs Glock mags, and I heard a ton of people on both sides of the fence when it came to their opinions on this thing. You know, bunch were saying just get a proper 2011 with 2011 mags because that's just a mean gun, and you know, if you want a 2011, get a 2011. And then the opposite side saying if you want to run Glock mags and you want all the benefits of Glock, just get a Glock. So you know, because perfection. You know, I could see both of those arguments, and I had to find out for myself. So you know, today we're gonna go tip to butt, review this thing, and see if they secretly found a perfect spot in the market. I think they might have. So starting with the barrel, you do get a hand fit match grade barrel. They do make these in-house. You know, you can get clean cut, flush cut, crowned, or threaded. They've got a million choices when you order, which is nice because they make everything in-house. Well, maybe not everything, but they make a lot of this stuff in-house. So slide fit is definitely tight. You know, you don't get any of that typical cheaper 1911 rattle, which is nice, and you can spec it however you want. You can spec the slide however you want. Windows, slide serrations, different finishes, Cerakote. I think you can even get DLC. I mean, it's genuinely, it's like Chipotle. Like you just go, you can get whatever you want. The only difference I'd say though, actually, is this has 100 more options than they do. So it's anything I tell you guys as far as like the customization and the level of detail you can pick out for this gun would be an understatement. I could only understate it. So it's probably, I don't know, I've probably designed 50 of these things on their website at this point just because it's fun to do, and it never gets old. You can change everything about the gun. So super fun. I definitely recommend checking that out. But the one caveat to that, I will say that it does have a downside, is it ruins every other gun manufacturer's website for you. They all are super boring after you go play with their gun builder. So definitely run and do that and check that out ASAP. So now moving on to one of my favorite parts, the optic. So you pick your optics footprint when you order. So no adapter plates, no weird shim kits, no sending your slide off for 6 months to get one off milled, you know, just to come back messed up and hope they did it right. You just screw on your dot when you get it and send it. More gun manufacturers need to do this. So anyways, and if you are an iron sights pierce, that's fine. It does just use standard 1911 dovetails, and you can pick whatever you want. So you don't need to be married to one red dot if you don't want to be. And it is the lowest optic cut I have ever seen by a large margin. So it's, to me, phenomenal. I wish super badly that more manufacturers did this and would ditch plates, because at this point, almost everyone I've asked say that they just throw one dot on the gun forever anyways. So plates are near irrelevant at this point. And I just think it'd be better in general for everybody. You get a lower optic. You don't have to worry about plates breaking whatsoever. It's just a win-win. Anyways, moving on. All right, this is where things get spicy. So the grip, to me, does feel like a proper 2011 grip angle, but I guess it is just placebo effect because they do say that it is just a Glock grip angle. I don't know. I have asked around, and a couple other people said that does feel like a Glock to them, and a couple other people said it feels like a 2011 to them too. So I think you just have to experience it for yourself and see which camp you fall into. And then obviously one other big benefit is the magazines. Them switching this grip angle to a Glock grip angle obviously is what let them get and reliably feed Glock mags. And that is probably the biggest benefit you're going to get out of a platform like this, because you don't need to worry anymore about, you know, 60, 80, $100 plus magazines that you have to baby and hand tune and all that other stuff. You just grab a $15, $20 Glock mag, throw it in, and keep shooting. Yeah, definitely a huge selling point. So with this grip texture, I would say I went with the prickle grip. They do have a bunch of other grip options for you guys to check out. It is super aggressive, but it's not like cheese grater aggressive, which is super important. You know, you can run a full class with this, shoot this all day without needing a Band-Aid sponsorship, which is nice, because some of them out there do get like ridiculous. And then trigger guard undercut, I would say it's super nice, super deep, and makes, you know, lets you get a super high grip, nice tight purchase up on the frame, and, you know, makes you actually be able to shoot and look like you know what you're doing. I've never met anyone yet that, you know, wanted to shoot worse than they usually do, so I would definitely call that a win. Moving on to controls, you know, it is just pretty standard. They're classic 1911 ambi, you know, ambi safety, traditional mag release. It's where it should be. You know, we all wish 1911s could be a little more extended, but it is what it is. A couple companies out there make them now, so if you really care that much, go ahead and swap that out. But moving on to the biggest reason to get one of these over a regular Glock, the trigger. Glock triggers, you know, if that feels gritty and mushy and ton of over travel, this feels like snapping a candy cane in half. Yeah, definitely creme de la creme as far as that goes. And I was a little nervous about that, because usually when they do have to switch things up and, you know, try to fit all these internals and make them work with Glock pattern things, I thought that they might have to make some sacrifices, but I'm happy to report it is just as good as all the other 1911, 2011 style guns in this price range easily. In fact, in my opinion, better than quite a few of them. So awesome job, guys, over at Stealth Arms. You guys should be very proud of the performance you guys got out of this, especially at the price point, and the amount of customization at this price point it's pretty ridiculous, actually. So moving on, Magwell. Okay, I'm pretty impressed with that. Normally without with just a flush fit mag and not an extended base plate, you can't really get good seating, but that seats really well, conceals really well. I like that a lot. I would say it's flared just right, and because Glock mags are already tapered, you know, the reloads just basically autopilot themselves. You don't have to, you know, do anything crazy there. You know, not too much to say, but it just works, and works really well. So, you know, overall, my impressions on the range were that the gun shoots really flat. The steel frame soaks up the recoil really well. Trigger makes you want to go really fast and lets you, you know, to the best of your ability. And the ergonomics just work. You know, if you're used to 1911, 2011s, you're gonna love pretty much everything about it, 1911, 2011 pattern wise. And you don't have to try and stockpile a bunch of you know, MBX mags and take out a second mortgage on your house. You can just, you know, probably already have a case full of Glock mags at the house. So, you know, that's a win-win. So at the end of the day, is the gun a meme or is it genius? You know, I would say, honestly, it's both. It is weird. It's bold. It's, you know, almost everyone does insane, weird colors, which I think you kind of should. Twista, the rapper, has some insane ice cream color, you know, crazy one. This is like a crazy Miami Tiffany blue. So, you know, we all have a million guns in black. I think it's fun to just mix it up every once in a while, and that is kind of what lends to why this is a meme gun, but it is a serious shooter also. So anyways, that is my review of the Stealth Arms Platypus. I appreciate y'all for coming. Drop in the comments if you would like a Glock Mag 2011 or if that is heresy for you. And I'm sure this one will ruffle some feathers, but we have many, many more fun reviews coming up for you guys. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It is hard enough to get this type of content pushed out because they do censor us to death. So yeah, thank you guys. If you found this review helpful at all, help me, drop a sub, and we will catch you on the next one.